Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beauty School Bobby. Today I am here with one of my all-time favorite graduates, Abby Turbyfill, and her parents, April and Rusty, who I actually got to get really close with while she was in beauty school. So it's so awesome to have you all back. So welcome back, guys.
Thank you for having us.
So today I want to talk about something very specific with you because I know that so many students that start out in the beauty industry are maybe not always supported and maybe don't have parents that are encouraging them to do this. So thank you all for being open to talk to us about this experience. I want to start by talking to you about when you first fell in love with the beauty industry. Okay. When did you know that hair was going to be the career path that you were going to follow?
So basically starting out at a really young age, my mom always did my hair, always made me look pretty. She definitely had her moments where she let us play with our, like her makeup on her and stuff like that. So just growing up, I always kind of fell into the path of doing all my friends' makeup and hair for proms or just like dances and stuff like that. So definitely my mom kind of inspired me towards that. I started going to Beleza at a young age. Mm-hmm. And so I had my hairdresser there. She was always like, you're going to be a hairdresser when you grow up. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm definitely not going to do that. So that's definitely where it kind of started.
Do you remember being young going into the salon? Because you work at Beleza Salon and Spa now. Mm-hmm. So do you remember going in there as a kid, and now when you go in, are you like, this is so weird? Like, this has kind of always been a part of your path.
Yeah, it's totally different because going in as a client, I feel is very different than going in as a stylist, because when you go in as a stylist, you're going in for work, you're going in to get your job done, you're going in to get paid, and the smell is different. I noticed that. It's kind of weird because it smells like, like hairspray and stuff like that. When you go in, you're like, this is, it's just a very different atmosphere, I think, depending on what side of it you're going in on. I remember going in as a client. Tanya used to be my stylist. Yeah. So even now she's always like, oh, you're my baby. And so now it's like working with her is a totally different aspect rather than going into the salon and getting your hair done. You don't get that relaxation now that you're a stylist. It's more of like, okay, who can cut my hair? Who can color my hair? Who can do this? And it's just kind of like, speed it up a little bit. Yeah. So it's a lot different, but I'd rather be on like the side that I am now rather than in the chair.
Yeah. So that inspired you obviously at a young age. I mean, Tanya's amazing and she could like inspire anyone. I think to do hair and talk to anybody into doing this, but I love that you had her to look up to because now working with her, you get to have that like real life experience and relationship with her. So.
And definitely like having Regina in the salon too, like she's loud and proud and you can hear her. And Tanya's like that too. Like it just, and I don't know, just having the experience with them on both sides and having like such a good relationship with both of them, I feel like it really helped me succeed a little bit more in the salon too. So
yeah, well that's awesome. Well, I love that you're there. Yeah. Now, when you were in high school, you did not take cosmetology in high school. At the school that you went to. I know that was offered, but you didn't take it, correct?
We did not have it.
Oh, okay. So what was your experience like in high school when you were talking to guidance counselors and stuff about what path you were going to take after college or after high school? Was college more push on you, or was beauty school talked about at all, or how did you, like kind of know what you were going to do next when you were in high school?
It was kind of different for me because coming from a family of 5 kids, I felt like, college was definitely going to be in the realm of things. Mm-hmm. But talking to guidance counselors and stuff, I was always kind of like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, there's so many different jobs. You can go so many different ways with this. And I definitely never thought that I would be doing hair. Mm-hmm. It was something that was always like, all my friends were like, hey, you need to do hair, you need to do makeup, you need to do all this stuff. And to me, I always felt like it was going to be like an easy out. Mm-hmm. And now that's kind of like insulting when I look back on it because this industry is hard. It's tough. You have to work your butt off and do the right things and study and go to classes and do all these things. And without that, I wouldn't be where I am now. Mm-hmm. So, kind of making the leap from wanting to go to college to, going to beauty school was a huge transition for me. And that, that had a lot to do with me having brain surgery. Mm-hmm. Because after, I had brain surgery going into my senior year of high school. Mm-hmm. So after that, I just didn't really know, like, my whole plan really changed. I had a lot that I had to address as far as, like, mentally, physically, I didn't ever think that I could be to this point that I am now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So what was it about hair that made you maybe more comfortable after you had your surgery? Like, was it more of like, I'm going to push through and I'm going to do this no matter what? Like, did that, or were you like, I need to do something that I know I'm going to be happy in if I'm going to have a career?
Yeah, so that definitely, what you just said was, I realized that it wasn't of I have to. It was more of like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? And that was my whole life. I never could really make decisions. Even now, it's hard for me to make decisions for myself. But I know that, like, with my instincts, I'm just like, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be good at it. And so I think for me, it was more of, I took a semester, like, not going to college, and I was like, what do you want to do? And so I finally was like, I'm going to call Tennessee School of Beauty. I'm going to just go check out some beauty schools. And I feel like when I made that jump, and I even talked to you on the phone, I remember where I was sitting, too, when I called you for the first time. And I was like, okay, like, this sounds awesome. And so, like, making that first leap to just, like, do something that I felt, like that wasn't ever going to be in my story.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, it was just, I think it was more of like a hands-on thing. Like, I've always been, like, very creative, and I don't know, like, it was something I've always liked to do, and I was like, it's okay to like what you're going to do for work.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, kind of what changed for me.
Yeah. So now when you finally decided, like, hey, I'm going to call, did you let them know before you called, or did you kind of do this on your own and then say, hey, I'm going in? Because you came with her on the visit.
Yeah.
You both did, correct?
Right.
You both
Yes.
came in on the tour. It's so weird that I can remember, like, vividly, like, meeting with you guys. But, I mean, you guys seemed encouraging and, like, on board. But I'm sure as parents, you were like, we want to check this out and make sure that this is going to be, like, a good decision for her and that she's going to be able to do this. So when you guys were coming in, were you kind of scoping it out too, or were you already on board for her doing this?
No, we were scoping it out.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what were your thoughts like before coming in when she had told you that she was going to do this? What was your thought right away? You were like, okay, we'll let her check it out, but we're going to push her into traditional
Right.
college?
So for me, it was more like, well, let's check it out. She's got it on her mind. I know that, she has that skill. She can do that. She does it already. So how does she enhance that skill? But I start thinking about, okay, Tennessee School of Beauty, the name's been around for a long time. So maybe it's in an old school, things like that, so let's just go check it out and we'll talk through it. So showing up, we walk into what is like walking into a salon. It's a very modern facility, and it's very nice. And then we walk into the office and begin talking with you guys, and then I start seeing the bigger picture. And it's not just a meal, a school type meal where you run people through. You really cared about what Abby was talking about. And from our standpoint, we needed that for her, to be able to know that when we turn her loose, so to speak, that she's going to be cared for. She's going to be looked after because of her health problems. She had some health things that she would be bringing into the school.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
that was the process with me as a mother, because just seeing what she had went through after her surgery, and because you want to protect them, and then it wasn't only her learning, because like you said, coming over here, it's just having her to come over here day by day, or are you going to be able to handle anything that she went through? And like you said, she went through things, and you were
Yeah.
able to handle it. You would call me, or you'd call us, and she was taken care of, and and she had to learn a lot, and you all were very good as like a family. You took care of her. So
Yeah.
and that gave me a peace when I left here. Like that day is like coming over here. It was like, but then when we left, it's like, oh, okay, she can do
Yeah.
this, and they're going to help her do this.
Yeah. So I know that you mentioned that she had already had that skill, because I'm sure you saw girls just coming in and out all the time, like looking one
yeah.
way, and then like the makeovers when they would leave.
Dang, girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Her sister had a lot of makeovers.
She hates it. She doesn't even wear makeup.
And she talked, about Barbie dolls. She'd cut Barbie dolls' hairs, and as she got a little bit older, I always wore my hair short, and I would just let her cut my hair. And so some of that would be, okay, I'm cutting it, and she'd say, Dad, your hair's so hard to cut. And I said, this is your training, Abby, focus. And she would be cutting, and all of a sudden I'd feel this, and she's pushing harder on my head because she's getting frustrated, and she just
Zero
cut it all
guards.
off.
I love that you got
but,
to
you
be
know,
her guinea pig too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know I had, we kind of talked about what you guys were thinking maybe would be your path. I know things were kind of up in the air, and I'm sure with surgery and everything, I'm sure you were just focused on that for so long, and then her coming into this industry. What was your idea of the beauty industry before? I know that you had mentioned that like we've been around for so long. Tennessee School of Beauty's been around for so long, so you thought it was maybe, you know, kind of an old school way. With the beauty
I just
industry.
thought of like, sorry to cut you off. I just thought of like old salons, like, you know, just because that's where I had been, like over in Maryville and just a little bitty salons, and then like I didn't really get introduced to bigger salons till, you know, I'd went to Tanya, and so then that's how it sort of, you know, Beleza, and I was like, oh, okay, and then she started mentioning Tennessee School of Beauty, and I was like, oh, you know, and then we started coming over here, and I was like, this is such a big, you know, aspect of things, and like how big everything is, and you don't realize how it reaches from New York, and then like Beleza, how they travel to different countries, and how big everything is.
Yeah.
From this little place, how much you can learn, and you know,
we talk about it a lot that people kind of have this image of the beauty industry as being like steel magnolias, and like you kind of have just in your head that that's what it is, and then when you see them at such a young age, you know, it being so technical and them getting into things that are so advanced, it really does change like your perception of it. And you're a perfect example because of where you ended up at this high-end salon. I mean, financially, the like what she's able to bring in, has that surprised you all? About what like her opportunity is to actually like make money.
And then she would, you know, before COVID, she'd say, oh, we're going here, and like to another country, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
She said, I was like, wow, okay.
I know. So you really got in, like I said, like a good place to kind of have your opportunity to grow, and for you guys to see like this high end side of things.
For sure. I definitely wasn't expecting what I got. I'm very blessed in the fact of, you know, being able to come to this school, being able to get my education to pass my boards, being able to go to an awesome salon that's like family, and being able to further extend my education through them, and just grow through that. And not only that, just like growing as a person too. Like everyone that I've been around, like community-wise, from here to work, it's just helped me grow a lot more as a person as well. So.
So now, would you all say now at this point you're super happy that she's made this decision? Is there ever any look backs at all that you wish that maybe she would have done traditional college, or is there any part of you that like?
No, I'm glad she did this. This is her thing.
Yeah,
she's able to express herself, because like she said, she's a creative person, and this is her creative outlet.
Yeah. So you weren't really like pushed maybe as much as other people, because I feel like they were pretty on board. You know, once you saw everything and got comfortable here. So what advice would you all give to any parents who maybe have kids that are in school right now and are saying, hey, I want to go to beauty school, and their parents are maybe pushing the traditional college route? What advice would you give to the parents?
Check it out first, right? And I understand the traditional college versus trade school. I understand that. It also depends on the high school student. You know, where are they going to be most successful? What is it that, you know, what's their passion? What is it that is going to get them through? What is it that's going to set them up for success? And that's kind of how we were with Abby, is what's going to set her up for success for her life. And maybe if she didn't have the health problems that she had at the time, traditional college might have been something that she did. But I also think that she would still end up doing hair all through college and things like that, because that becomes her passion. So my suggestion is to help the child find their passion. As parents, sometimes we notice that, and then help encourage their passion.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we came here.
Yeah. Do you think that changed like with your other children? Are you more open to maybe like the trades of like your other kids going into, did that kind of change for you all once she did this?
Yes. It's like you have to look at them, and, you know, just because people say, you know, go to college, get a 4-year degree, that's not necessarily true. You have to go and do what you love, because you're going to be doing it your entire life. So, you know, a degree is great to have. I'm not saying that, but it's just a certificate on the wall. So, you know, do what you love. You know, you've got to make the money for it. So, you know, just as long as you can survive, and make your living, you know, do what you love.
We love that. Abby, do you have any advice for somebody that is like maybe afraid to tell their parents that they're wanting to do this, or somebody that's just like, hey, maybe the beauty industry is like a hobby for me, but I want to make it a career?
Oh yeah, I definitely say make it the career. Like whatever you have in mind, just do it. Because without the want to, for me, I don't think I ever would have done it. It was more of like, I'm just gonna have to do this and figure it out and just leap. And it's scary, and you kind of can't really think about what anybody says. That's something I'm learning recently too. It's more of whatever you want to do, make it happen, and it's only up to you. So it's definitely more of a, if you want it, go get it. And that's just how the world has become. So even if people don't support you, you got to find your group who does, and don't let anybody hold you back, because and I do have the support of my parents and my community and the people that I work with, but sometimes you might not feel like people are on your side, and so you just have to go with what you got.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's good because you build so many friendships and relationships when you're in school. And as much as you are alone in your 1,500 hours, like you're running towards those 1,500 hours, so much of it depends on your friends carrying you through, or like the school that you choose. I mean, if you're not in Knoxville, Tennessee, or if you're not close to Tennessee School of Beauty, making sure that you find a place that is home and that feels good, because you're going to be there for 1,500 hours.
Oh yeah,
so.
And it's a long 1,500 hours. It really is.
It's a long time.
It is, and I built a bunch of friendships. I'm still friends with quite a lot of people from beauty school, doing their weddings. Like that's always so much fun. That, I get to be that first couple sometimes. But I don't know, just being able to have relationships within and without, because I know some people who still don't do hair, after getting out of school, and they're doing something else, but without trying, they would have never known what they wanted to do. So.
Well, I love that. And if anyone in Knoxville needs encouraged, go see Abby at Beleza in Turkey Creek. She will
come to Tennessee School of Beauty. It's awesome.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It was so good to see you
you
again. And thank you all for watching. And make sure you're following us on all social media at Beauty School Bobby. And we'll see you next time. Bye.